Hi everyone, today we're going to install WordPress on your own VPS. It's a virtual private server. It makes the most sense nowadays to use these. They are super cheap, they are super fast, they are easy to maintain, and you can have everything on your virtual private server, whatever you want and whatever you need for your businesses. VPS makes total sense if you don't have your own business hardware stack, bare metal server somewhere. So if you don't have web space, it totally makes sense to host this on the cloud and just use VPS because it's so simple to use. It's really reliable, super cheap. It costs like €3 a month. And the other thing, a thought on WordPress. WordPress is by far the best website CMS system you can ever have. So just use it. WordPress powers most of the internet already. So it's almost 40% built on WordPress. It's the best open source maintained thing out there, next to all the other things which are open source like PHP and MySQL and so on, which WordPress is built on. WordPress is so easy to use. We have a lot of videos planned on how to work with WordPress, what to do with it, how to automate everything working with WordPress and Mautic. So first things first, you of course need to go to a hosting provider. So we use Hetzner. Hetzner is a German hosting provider. It's really good. It's also available in the US already, and it's super cheap. It's super fast. It's great. We have an affiliate link below, so it would be great, and I'm very grateful if you would use this, so we get a small kickback for referring you. So create your credentials, sign in to Hetzner. You will figure out how to do this. So we are here in the cloud console. So if you go to Hetzner, make sure you log into your cloud console and not to robot or DNS. So create a project there. Just click here, give it a name, and then you're inside the project, and then add a server. So choose the location, choose the image. We're going to choose Ubuntu 20.4 and type is standard. We will run here with the second cheapest one. CPX 11, 2 GB of RAM, 40 GB SSD, which is good. So we have a little bit of space. You can scale up as soon as you want to. It's really easy. It's one click. So you can use backups. That's quite handy. It's super cheap. It costs like 70 cents a month, and it gives you a backup each day of the whole server. So let's name it main server. Create and buy, then you're there. You can place SSH keys and so on in there. So if you are working with developers and so on, they will ask you where to put the SSH key, so you can do this there. And yeah, it takes a few seconds and your server is online, which is amazing. So let's connect to the server. SSH. So we type SSH because that's the protocol, and root because that's our user, which we're connecting to the server, and the IP address. So move here, click on IP, or if you're inside your server, you find the IPv4 address up here. Copy that by clicking on it and put it in the terminal. Then it asks you if it's fine to put the fingerprint of this machine to your machine. Of course, it's fine. If you say no, you can't connect. So yes, of course, you need this. And then it asks for the password. So where is your password? I think Hetzner sends you the password link, but you can find it here in rescue and just reset the root password. And it just takes a few seconds, and there we go. So we have a new root password. Make sure to write it down somewhere and put in the password. So now we are in our server, which is great. Root at main server. This tells you you're connected. So we can see what's inside the server. There is a snap folder and so on. And we can change directory to the / directory, which is basically kind of the home directory of the root user. So you can do whatever you want to do in here now. So let's create everything to build WordPress on the server, because the server is empty at the moment. There is nothing running on it. It's just bare bone as it came, only Linux. So we need to install Apache. Apache is going to be our web server. So this gives us the opportunity to let the internet connect to the server with the browser. So to show and to serve something, then we need PHP. PHP is server-side software, which is necessary to build the website from the server and serve it. And we need the database where we use Mariadb. You can use MySQL as well. And that's it basically. So I created a small script. You can download the script. You find the link in the description on our blog. So just go there and download it. And then put in line by line these things. So let's update the server at first. Maybe there are some things which are not 100% up to date. So we want to make sure that they are up to date before we do something on it. Depending on the speed of your server, it takes a little longer or shorter. If you need to work a lot, you want to make sure that you have a lot of CPU and a lot of RAM. Okay, let's put in the next line. Okay, that's great. And now let's install Apache, Mariadb to serve and store our website. And now let's secure Mariadb, which is best practice. So you need to secure it. You don't want to have no root password on your server. So make one barrier more. Okay, so put in this line, MySQL secure installation. And I wrote this small script as well. You can find the script everywhere on the internet, which basically only says yes, 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 plus secure password. There are 2 prompts inside this script where you need to prompt the password and input the password. So change this to whatever password you want to use and save your password somehow. So I will just use this script. So copy the whole script and put it in. So now you can read everything what happened here. And now let's install PHP. So copy this here and it will install PHP plus all the necessary modules which are necessary to run WordPress, which are necessary to run Sealed CRM, and so on. So if you're into open source software, just copy this. Okay, so it installs 7.4 PHP. If you want to run PHP 8, find a tutorial how to install PHP 8. It's totally fine at the moment to run PHP 7.4. We will give you a tutorial on how to run everything or how to update to PHP 8 in time as soon as necessary. So run this, that's great. Let's change the PHP file a little bit in order to give it the best structure to have the best performance. So we'll change the memory limit from 128 megabyte to 512. So each process of PHP has 512 megabyte, which is totally fine. And we'll change the upload max file size from 2 megabyte to 25 megabyte. Execution time from 30 seconds to 360, which is 6 minutes. And the date time zone, I'm going to change it to Europe Berlin, but actually I could change it to Asia Nicosia because I'm there. You can find these date time zone charts everywhere, so make sure to put in the right area for your needs, because based on this everything gets started or stopped. Copy these 4 lines, put it in, and it's there. So now these 4 lines altered our PHP ini file. So let's enable Apache. So we need to enable the system to use Apache and serve something on it. And let's start Apache as well. So now we started it. Okay, and next we need the Unzip program. Most of the VPS hosts don't have Unzip installed, so we cannot unzip something. And also we want to have Python 3 certbot Apache. So the certbot program enables us to create certificates for our server. And we are going to need this to run WordPress on HTTPS protocol. And now we create our database. So inside MySQL or Mariadb, we create the database WordPress. So you can name it however you want, just change these lines. I call the database WordPress and I call the user WordPress as well. But of course, you need to create a nice and secure password. So create some password and type it in here instead of test1234. And then we are giving the privileges to the user on the database as well. So this is what we're going to do next. Put in here, everything fine. You need to take a look here. If there is query not okay, or if there is an error or something, you typed something wrong. So make sure that they are okay. All of these lines need to be okay. So okay, bye. That's fine. Everything worked. You can put in these lines line by line as well, because then you would see immediately if there is something wrong. That's fine. And next we're going to download WordPress. So let's download WordPress here. We're downloading it. And now I just downloaded to the folder I'm in. So I'm at home at the moment, so in the root directory, and I downloaded it here. So latest.zip, that's our WordPress folder, that's the WordPress archive. So unzip it to the folder where we want to unzip it to. So of course we want to unzip it into our HTML folder. So inside Linux, and as soon as you install Apache, Apache creates these folder structures. So now you have var www.html inside your server already living, so you don't need to create it. So just unzip the package to this destination. So let's do that. So it unzips everything into the WordPress folder, as you can see here. So we have it there. So now we can remove the package. And if we type ls, the package is gone. It's not there anymore. Now we need to create a virtual host file in order to make sure that everybody who serves to your server and says, okay, I want to open this website, then your server is able to interpret the connection and say, okay, here is the website. Dear user. So let's create this. This is a blank file. There we need to put in everything. So our document root is var www.html WordPress. That's the root. Inside here, the WordPress files are living. If you want to change this, you can change this, but then you need to change the folder on the server as well. So we need a server admin address. So just put your email in here, and we need a server name. Okay, and therefore, of course, we need some name to come up with an install WordPress there. So to do that, you need to get a domain name, of course. So I'm sure you have your domain name already. Inside your DNS or domain name system, wherever you hosted your domain, like at Namecheap or Amazon Route 53, you need to create an A record. So the A record points the domain to the server where the website lives. So let's do that. In this case, I have a domain. It's called winnerhabits.org, and I'm only using it for tutorials. So winnerhabits.org is going to be our WordPress website there. So let's create a new record, and we don't want to have any subdomains or something. So I just leave this blank and put in the value, and the value is our IP address. So inside our server, we copy the IP address, and I just put this in here. Time to live is 300 seconds, that's fine. Simple routing, everything good. And it's an A record. Very important, so create this record before you move on. So this takes a few seconds. I can just view the status here, and it's still pending. So let's create this record, and then I can build my WordPress.conf file. So in here, I would just say server name is winnerhabits.org. That's the server name. So as soon as somebody types WordPress.org in a browser, it will ask the DNS, the domain name system, where should I point this traffic? And the DNS says to this server. And the server says, do I have a WordPress.conf file, which tells me which folder. So this is this file doing. So just take that, copy it, put in the right server name, put in the right server admin address, which is very important because if something goes wrong, this admin address gets notified, and put it into the WordPress.conf file and save it. And let's go out. So now we have our WordPress.conf file, which tells Apache what to do as soon as somebody gets to the server. Okay, so let's enable this website. Everything fine, and restart Apache 2. So from now on, everything is going to be pointed to this website. So the next thing and the last thing here is we need to create our own SSL certificate. I want you to create the certificate before you serve to your website. So now you can serve to the website, of course, already. winnerhabits.org, let's put it in. It says, okay, the site can't be reached. It didn't work because the browser wants to connect to the website with HTTPS, which is the secure connection. So there is no secure layer at the moment. There is no SSL certificate at the moment. And this is the reason why I want you to create the certificate before you browse to your server. What we do now is create certbot, put in our true admin address, because we see everything. If there happens something, we see it on this address, we get notified, and then we can do something. If you put in my address, I will not care if you have any problems on your certificates. So please don't do this. I get so many emails with broken certificates and so on to this address. So I can't use it as my address anymore. Please put in your email address and not my email address. And in here, you need to put in the domain, your domain, in order to get a certificate. So then you can copy that and put it in here, and it will guide you through the thing. If you want to subscribe to the newsletter, you can type yes. I will type no in this case, and then it will create a certificate for you. Very important, it will tell you everything here. And in this case, I got it all right. Everything was working. So now I can connect via HTTPS, and you can see it with this lock here that it works. And then you can serve to your website and say, okay, let's do this. But it depends on the server and on the hosting provider you have. Most likely there will be another problem. So let's take a look. Okay, it tells us what we need. So my database name is WordPress, that's fine. The database username is WordPress as well. Then I have test1234, that's the great password I chose. The database host is localhost because it's on the same server, so that's fine. Table prefix is WP underline, that's fine as well. You can write whatever you want here and then submit this. And now it tells me, hey, I'm unable to write this PHP file. And there is a reason for that, because the server, the structure, how we built it, didn't give right permissions to WordPress itself. So we need to give WordPress the permission. So I don't want to do this here. I just give it the permissions on the server, which is these two lines. It's super simple. It just tells the server, okay, www.data, this user is allowed in this group to do and write everything in here. So we give it write and read permissions to this folder. So only to the WordPress folder, which is totally fine to do because we want the program to do everything on its own. So let's put this in here. And now we go back, we put in test 1, 2, 3, 4 and submit it again. And now it tells me, hey, everything works, it's amazing, run the installation. So we run the installation and tell the site name tutorial blah 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 blah, username, admin, password, test 1, 2, 3, 4. That's very weak. I need to confirm that I really want to use this super weak password, and my email address, and install WordPress. So now I can log in, admin, 1234 test password, super easy. And I'm here in WordPress. So as soon as somebody visits the page, winnerhabits.org, they would see the WordPress. Amazing, that's how it works. With this setup, you have the perfect setup to also create lots of other stuff. That's what we are taking a look at the next time, how to create Mautic on the same server. So see you there.